Respected audience, Assalamu alaikum. I am Professor Shamsudjaman, Professor of Pathology. I welcome all in today's first lecture on systemic pathology. Today, day 1 of esophageal diseases. Today's topic is esophagitis. Day 1 esophageal diseases. Today's topic is esophagitis. Dear audience, suppose this is the esophagus and this is the stomach. And this is the esophagus. Today's topic is esophagitis. First come to what is esophagitis. Inflammation of esophagus is called esophagitis. Inflammation of esophagus is called esophagitis. Dear audience, you know what is inflammation? Reaction of vascularized living tissue to local injurious agent, provided the injurious agent does not destroy the tissue, is known as inflammation. Esophagus is vascularized living tissue. The reaction of this vascularized living esophagus is known as inflammation. Now come to what are the factors associated with esophagitis, factors associated with reaction of vascularized living esophagus. Factors associated with inflammation of the esophagus, factors associated with the reaction of vascularized living esophagus. Reflux of gastric content in esophagus. Reflux of gastric content in esophagus is associated with esophagitis, and esophagitis following reflux of gastric content is known as reflux esophagitis. It is called reflux esophagitis. Prolonged gastric intubation, ingestion of irritants like coffee, tea, alcohol. Ingestion of irritants like coffee, tea, alcohol. Bacterial infection, viral infection, like herpes simplex virus, fungal infection like candidiasis. Uremia is associated with esophagitis. Uremia, radiation, esophagitis following radiation is known as radiation esophagitis, called radiation esophagitis. Anti-cancer drug. Dear audience, these are the factors associated with esophagitis, like reflux of gastric content, prolonged gastric intubation, ingestion of irritants like coffee, tea, alcohol, bacterial infection, viral infection like herpes simplex virus, fungal infection like candidiasis, uremia, radiation. Esophagitis following radiation is called radiation esophagitis. Anti-cancer drug. Dear audience, suppose this is esophagus and this is the stomach. And this is the gastric contents. You know, gastric content is mixed with hydrochloric acid. If there is reflux of this gastric content, there is a reflux of gastric content, reflux of gastric content means esophageal mucosa is exposed to hydrochloric acid. As the mucosa or the lining cells of the esophagus cannot tolerate hydrochloric acid of the stomach, when it is exposed to hydrochloric acid of stomach following reflux of the gastric content, there is irritation. There is reaction of the esophageal mucosa, and this reaction of this vascularized living esophagus is known as esophagitis. As this esophagitis is due to reflux of gastric content, so this esophagitis is known as reflux esophagitis. I have told you prolonged gastric intubation is associated with esophagitis. Again, if this is the esophagus and this is the stomach, if there is intubation in the stomach, and prolonged intubation in the stomach is associated with irritation in the esophagus. Due to irritation following intubation for a long time in the stomach, the esophageal mucosa reacts, and this reaction of this vascularized living esophagus is known as esophagitis due to prolonged gastric intubation. Dear audience, ingestion of irritants like alcohol, tea, coffee, these are associated with the irritation in the esophageal mucosa, so there is reaction of the esophageal mucosa and there is esophagitis. I have told you uremia is associated with esophagitis. Dear audience, if anybody suffers from uremia, uremia is usually associated with nausea and vomiting. And due to vomiting, the esophageal mucosa is exposed to gastric content. As the esophageal mucosa is exposed to gastric content during vomiting, the esophageal mucosa reacts. So there is esophagitis. Exposure of esophageal mucosa to gastric content, and due to exposure of the esophageal mucosa to gastric content, reaction of the mucosa, of esophagus, and this is esophagitis. Dear audience, I have told you anti-cancer drug is associated with esophagitis. Anti-cancer drug may cause irritation in the mucosa of the esophagus, so there is esophagitis following use of anti-cancer drug orally. Radiation may cause irritation in the esophagus, so there is radiation esophagitis. Dear audience, now come to reflux esophagitis. I have told you, if there is reflux of gastric content in the esophagus, the esophageal mucosa is exposed to gastric acidity, and as the esophageal mucosa lining cannot tolerate the hydrochloric acid, there is reaction and there is irritation, and this reaction is known as esophagitis. As this esophagitis is due to reflux of gastric content, it is called reflux esophagitis. Esophagitis due to reflux of gastric content is called reflux esophagitis. Dear audience, suppose this is the esophagus and this is the stomach. These are the gastric contents. If there is reflux of gastric content like this in the esophagus, the esophageal mucosa is exposed to gastric content, is exposed to hydrochloric acid, and there is reaction of the esophageal mucosa, and this is the reflux esophagitis. Reflux of gastric content. Dear audience, now come to morphology of reflux esophagitis. First come to gross examination. Gross examination of reflux esophagitis reveals red area of esophagitis. The area is edematous and the esophageal wall is thick esophageal wall. So First examination of esophagitis reveals red area, edematous area, and thick wall. Microscopic findings. That is histopathology of reflux esophagitis. Histopathology reveals basal cell hyperplasia, infiltration of acute inflammatory cell like eosinophil. Infiltration of acute inflammatory cell like eosinophil. So microscopically, basal cell hyperplasia, infiltration of eosinophils. Dear audience, you know the stomach is lined by columnar epithelium and the entire esophagus is lined by non-cornified, stratified squamous epithelium. If this is the histopathology of esophagus, this is the wall. This is the lining epithelium, stratified squamous epithelium. This is the histopathology of esophagitis. It will reveal basal cell hyperplasia. If this is the basal cell, there will be hyperplasia of the basal cell. Along with this, there will be infiltration of eosinophil. Infiltration of eosinophil like this. Infiltration of eosinophils. This is the histopathology of reflux esophagitis. Dear audience, if anybody suffers from reflux esophagitis, what may be the complications? Now come the complications of reflux esophagitis. Columnar metaplasia. Dear audience, we know replacement of one adult type cell by another adult type cell of similar tissue is known as metaplasia. This metaplasia may be epithelial metaplasia, connective tissue metaplasia. You know, among the epithelial metaplasia, if the squamous cell is replaced by columnar cell, it is called columnar metaplasia. You know, the esophagus is lined by stratified squamous epithelium. You know, esophagus is lined by stratified squamous epithelium. Due to frequent reflux of gastric content in the esophagus, the squamous cell of the esophagus cannot tolerate the hydrochloric acid. This squamous epithelium in the lower end of the esophagus that is exposed to hydrochloric acid following reflux of the gastric content is replaced by gastric columnar epithelium or intestinal-like columnar epithelium, and this is called columnar metaplasia in the lower end of the esophagus following frequent gastric reflux. So columnar metaplasia is one of the complications of the reflux esophagitis, in which in the lower end of the esophagus, the squamous epithelium is replaced by columnar epithelium. Dear audience, you know, when there is columnar metaplasia in the lower end of the esophagus, it is known as Barrett esophagus, according to name of scientist Barrett. So columnar metaplasia, it is nothing but Barrett esophagus. Again, when there is columnar metaplasia in the lower end of the esophagus, due to repeated gastric reflux, it is known as Barrett esophagus, according to the name of scientist Barrett. As after columnar metaplasia, there is intestinal-like columnar cell or gastric columnar cell in the lower end of the esophagus. There is chance of peptic ulcer. So peptic ulcer in lower end of esophagus. Following columnar metaplasia. So following columnar metaplasia in the lower end of the esophagus, there is chance of peptic ulcer. Dear audience, you know there are different sites of peptic ulcer. One of the site of peptic ulcer is lower end of esophagus. There is chance of esophageal stricture. Dear audience, as there is reflux esophagitis, if this reflux esophagitis continues for a long time, there will be chronic inflammation, and as you know, chronic inflammation is associated with fibrosis. If there is fibrosis in the esophagus, there is chance of stricture. So esophageal stricture following ulceration in the Barrett esophagus following columnar metaplasia. There is chance of carcinoma of the lower end of esophagus. Dear audience, as following repeated gastric reflux, there is columnar metaplasia. Following columnar metaplasia, there may be dysplasia. And if there is dysplasia, there is chance of carcinoma. And as there is columnar metaplasia, the carcinoma is adenocarcinoma. So chance of adenocarcinoma. In lower end of esophagus. These are the complications of reflux esophagitis. One is columnar metaplasia, peptic ulcer in the lower end of esophagus following columnar metaplasia, esophageal stricture, and there may be adenocarcinoma in the lower end of the esophagus. This is all about the reflux esophagitis. Dear audience, reaction of vascularized living tissue to injurious agent, provided the injurious agent does not destroy the tissue, is known as inflammation. So inflammation in the esophagus is known as esophagitis. There are some factors that are associated with esophagitis. One of the factors is reflux of gastric content, and esophagitis following reflux of gastric content is known as reflux esophagitis. There are some complications of reflux esophagitis like columnar metaplasia, peptic ulcer, esophageal stricture, adenocarcinoma in the lower end of the esophagus. Today up to this, thanks all.